Now at 9, we take you inside the last of 6 storm shelters completed after McDonald County voters passed a $21.5 million bond issue.
President Trump is threatening Russia with tariffs unless it ends the war in Ukraine. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the details coming up.
Winter or not, taking care of your skin in all seasons is vital, according to a local dermatologist. I'm Lonnie Walton. I have the story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
After nearly 3 years, the final of 6 storm shelters in McDonald County is complete. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Anthony Saviello attended the ribbon cutting at Anderson Elementary today and spoke with administrators about what this project means for the future of McDonald County.
3, 2, 1.
A ribbon cut and a new storm shelter open in McDonald County.
This has been a long road for our district from the time the ideas came in to the time it came to fruition.
The last of 6 shelters is complete after McDonald County voters passed a $21.5 million bond issue to fund the project.
Our voters here and our people that live here, they believe in our school system and they want to be safe. And I mean, it passed pretty good margin when it passed. And, you know, it makes you feel good because the people here really do care.
It marks a special day.
It's a day that gives us something to celebrate, but also gives us a sense of security that we may not have had before.
Special enough to host a special guest.
And what I'm seeing here, which I knew I would see, is that there is just such a connection and partnership with the community and the school, the children, the teachers, the principals, and that's when kids win. And so I wanted to come down and say thank you to them for their great work and also to be a part of this great celebration.
In her first trip to McDonald County as Missouri Commissioner of Education, Dr. Carla Esslinger is standing by McDonald County and their investment into school and community safety.
Anytime that you can assure parents that when you send your children to school, they have a safe place to go, anytime, no matter what the weather is, yes. And I would love for every school to have this kind of opportunity, absolutely.
6 shelters now supply safety, not just for students, but the surrounding community as well. In McDonald County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
All 6 shelters serve as multi-purpose shelters, meaning they will also be used as classrooms and gymnasiums. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, of course, warmer for us today, which was great to see. 37 for a high, still below our average high of 45 degrees, and we started at 21. Average low is 25 degrees. Going outside, it's 30 in Joplin, 30 in Pittsburgh. Not as cold tonight. We will slide back into lower 20s, but most of us anywhere from mid 20s to lower 30s across the region. Thankfully, the winds have kind of backed down just a little bit. We still have a light westerly wind, but these are going to pick up once again as we get into tomorrow. Have a few little clouds kind of skirting through the region. One little wave passing through the Great Lakes. A secondary wave will give us some clouds once again for us tomorrow, and a smidge cooler as we head into Thursday. That's really our only hiccup, and then from that point on, we're going to start to warm back up as we head into the weekend. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Well, the name is released from yesterday's fatal crash in Galena, Kansas. This was at K26 and US 400, the newly reconfigured intersection that opened in June of last year. 79-year-old James Monroe Reed of Veneta, Oklahoma, was driving east on Old Highway 166 and hit a tow truck. He died at the scene. His passenger suffered serious injuries. Like many, the Nevada School District is looking for teachers. In fact, the district currently has 9 open positions. And tonight, Nevada hosted a teacher recruitment event at the board office. It's a chance for prospective teachers to learn more about the district's vision and goals, programs and expectations, opportunities, benefits, and hear from teachers who've decided to call Nevada home.
School districts across the state and across the nation are in a massive shortage right now. So for me, it's a privilege to be able to show these new teachers what their career could look like and how rewarding it can be.
Year 18 for me. I started at the middle school. Actually, Dr. Bishore and Mrs. McNeil, their curriculum director. I spent my first 9 years.
And this is the second year Nevada schools have hosted a teacher recruitment event. Well, Joplin's East Middle School has earned Missouri's Purple Star distinction. The state's education department awards its schools that support military families. East Middle started working towards this distinction earlier this year. Staff offer extra support for students and military families to help them succeed during their time at school. Coming up, justice for Lakin.
Action in D.C. on a bill named for a college student killed by an illegal immigrant. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
And later, do bugs and other pests really go away in the winter? We find out. Freeman Health System announces an upcoming job fair. The news comes ahead of the opening of the new Freeman Fort Scott Hospital. The healthcare provider says the event will provide an opportunity for Freeman to recruit and for individuals to explore what job opportunities are available. The event will feature more than 60 openings for the new hospital and will cover everything from various RN positions to tech jobs. The job fair will take place on Tuesday, February 11th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more information, just head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, it's been 2 years since the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline has been in operation. Kansas released a report outlining the successes of the lifeline in the state. 988 offers 24/7 access to trained crisis counselors who help people experiencing mental health-related distress. The 988 Lifeline in Kansas experienced growth in call volume and infrastructure during year 2. Kansas call centers handled about 95,000 calls last year. Text and chat services saw a more than 45% increase from the previous year. Well, boosting your muscle strength also boosts your chances of survival from cancer. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found cancer patients with good muscle strength and cardiorespiratory fitness were 31 to 46 less likely to ultimately die from the disease. Muscle strengthening activities could be used to help increase life expectancy. Although you may not feel the sun's powerful rays during the cold winter months, that doesn't mean it's not affecting your skin. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with a dermatologist from U.S. Dermatology in Joplin about how you can better protect your skin during winter.
We're actually working in and out of this, in this 5-degree weather that we've been having.
LaDonna Mitchell is the owner of Fourth State Greenhouse in Neosho. She, along with her workers, spend countless hours doing outside work, no matter the season.
There's a lot of work of pulling weeds, cleaning things out, revamping things, moving irrigation, disabling irrigation.
Mitchell says her hands really know all about hard work.
Get really badly cracked, and they'll like even start to bleed and whatnot. I mean, it's just like really horrible. So I use this rough and tumble. Again, this is from Alchemist Haven.
Dr. Derek Towery is a dermatologist at the U.S. Dermatology Partners in Joplin. He says for workers like Mitchell, skincare is vital during these colder months.
The wind's going to dry them out, the cold air, the very low humidity outside, so they need to use extra moisturizers, wear gloves.
Although it may be important to keep your body clean, taking a hot shower is a no-no.
Hot water really dries the skin out. Using harsh soaps, detergent soaps, fragrance type soaps will dry the skin out as well.
And don't forget about that sunscreen.
Ultraviolet light still coming through. It's not as intense as it is in June and July and August, but it's still out there.
I use a sunscreen. It's like a sunshine smoocher, and it's got raspberry seed oil in it. It's natural and it's organic, and that's really important to me.
Mitchell says it's all for what she loves.
A lot of planting still goes on in the winter time, and that's just about educating folks and helping them to have really fruitful gardens for all their seasons.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Dr. Towery goes on to say that using sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher is recommended protection against skin cancer. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, tech experts say President Trump's embrace of AI could be a game changer, but there are lingering concerns over a lack of rules and regulations.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a cold one for us today, but better than what we have seen over the past couple days as we finally got above the freezing mark for the first time since last Friday. which was good to see. Great shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We're looking downtown Joplin, northeast through downtown. All right, look at the 24-hour temperature change from 9 o'clock last night, 9 o'clock now. We're still 10 to 15 degrees warmer, even though we are dropping back. Not a whole bunch going on outside in our neck of the woods. We've had some random little snow showers that have kind of rotated through some regions, but we look pretty good. Temperature-wise, outside, most of us are sitting mid to upper 20s to near 30 degrees. And as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, our temperatures will drop back into lower 20s, but not as cold as what we have seen. A little breezy tomorrow, northwesterly winds. We have a weak front that is dropping through, so this will stop our warm up. In fact, cool us down a couple notches briefly. And then once our winds switch around out of the south, then we're going to start to see a warm up again on Friday, but it's going to be windy. We're going to have winds gusting 30 upwards to 40 miles per hour at times. Had a few clouds kind of shooting through the region, but overall you can see one little wave across the Great Lakes, secondary wave that will give us some clouds tomorrow. But again, random flurry tonight, random flurry for us tomorrow. And here's our jet stream, dips in, but it's starting to lift a little bit northeast, and in return, we're going to start to see our temperatures warming up. Still low 20s tonight. Let's go through Thursday, near freezing by noon. I think most of us will top out 33, 34, 35 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow night's going to be cold. We're going to drop 13, 14, 15. So another cold one to start Friday, but you're going to like Friday. Yeah, it's going to be windy, but our temperatures will go into the mid 40s during the afternoon. It won't be near as cold Friday night into Saturday morning, only dropping back right around 30 degrees. Thursday, day planner, 23 to start, 32 by noon. High temp, 34 as we get into the afternoon. Let's look into the weekend. A lot of clouds Saturday, but again, temperatures are going to be well into the 40s. As we go into Saturday night and Sunday morning, weak wave is going to pass to our south. Now with that wave, there could be a few random showers, mainly south of I-44. So I think most of us will end up staying dry. Sunday, still a few showers to our south. We will see a lot of clouds, but temperatures again back into the 40s. So you see this warming trend, upper 40s to near 50 by the time we get into Monday. 34 Thursday, 44 Friday, 47 Saturday, 42 on Sunday. But then we bounce to 60 next Wednesday. So looking much better temperature-wise. Not really no big storm systems over the next week.
I was so thankful that it finally got above freezing today. I mean,
yeah.
We were due. How long was our stretch of
Since
cold?
last Friday.
I
know it stinks.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, as cold temperatures continue in several parts of the country, a reminder that mosquitoes and other insects will still be present in the wintertime. Fox's Babs Santos explains.
The extremely cold weather seen across Minnesota this week has so many of us searching for positives, and that has some wondering if the cold could help reduce the number of mosquitoes, ticks, emerald ash borer, and other pests that so often get in our way come springtime. Entomologist Dr. Mohammed Eldamir is here to set the record straight right away.
Extreme temperature will maybe kill some of them, few of them, but that not necessarily you're going to see fewer insect in the spring or maybe in the summertime. It will impact few of them, but in the springtime, they make up the last.
As Adams Pest Control explains, insects that call Minnesota home have long ago adapted to the cold here, with chemical compounds that protect them from the weather while they sit in a dormant stage during the winter. Only in the springtime, that tolerance begins to wane.
If we hit cold weather in the spring, like frost, that will reduce the number or the population of insects dramatically.
Up next, doubling down on AI.
President Trump taking aim at the EV tax credit, but it gets complicated. I'm Jeff Lock in an auto showroom outside Philadelphia, and I'll explain why when we come back.
The Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30, right here on Fox 14.
President Trump reverses former President Biden's executive order requiring half of all new vehicles sold in the U.S. by 2030 to be electric. But there could be some speed bumps ahead for the Trump administration. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Flock is in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania with the story.
I'm standing in front of one of the vehicles that could be in the crosshairs of the president's executive order, de-emphasizing, I think we can say, electric vehicles. This is a Dodge Hornet, and it is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Currently, it does qualify for the tax credit, the EV tax credit. Here is what President Trump declared in his executive order. Elimination of the EV mandate and consideration of the elimination of unfair subsidies and what he calls other ill-conceived government-imposed market distortions that favor EVs, like the EV tax credit. We've got one of the most prominent Stellantis dealers, I guess, in the country, David Kelleher, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. You're no big fan of EVs. You are pushing Stellantis to cut back their EV production, but you say this credit still is important.
Well, the EVs, the consumers don't want them. That's why I'm not a fan. I mean, I think the premise is great, but we don't have the infrastructure for it and the consumer demand, which is vital to our industry. So I'm in favor of releasing the mandates, taking them back, but I'm also in favor of keeping the credit for as long as we still have these cars on our lot. Because without the credit, we can't sell the cars.
And President Trump not able to do elimination of the credit on his own. It's a congressionally passed law, and so he would need Congress. Now, here are the requirements. The vehicles must be assembled in North America, so it encourages production here. 60% of the critical minerals must be from the U.S. or one of its trade partners, and no luxury cars. They have to be reasonably priced, and if you're wealthy, you don't qualify. Some people like that as well. There's good things in that.
Well, there are the things that are pointing everything in the right direction for America and for the people that are out there hardworking, which is
they can afford this Dodge Hornet. Maybe
they can, because without the credit, I'm $580 a month on this. With the credit, I'm $380 a month. So you put that together, and that makes that affordable for a lot of households.
Yeah. In terms of who actually benefits from the credit, in addition to, of course, the consumer, which companies, auto companies, benefit most? Well, take a look. The company that benefits most are the ones that sell the most cars. That would be electric cars. That would be your friends at Tesla. 4 of their models now qualifying for the EV tax credit. And I am told that there's someone in the government right now who has some influence that may be the head of Tesla. We'll see what that all means as we go forward. From David, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, out here in the Philadelphia suburbs, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
Pittsburgh police and firefighters battle it out over chili and blood. For a good cause, though. How you can still participate next.
I'm Jonathan.
The heat is on for this year's Battle of the Badges as the Pittsburgh Police and Fire Departments face off in a chili cook-off. It's all a fun effort to benefit the American Red Cross. And folks were invited out today and are again tomorrow to get a bowl, vote for your favorite, and donate some life-saving blood. It's taking place at the Mirza Shriners Meeting Room in Pittsburgh.
As important as donation is, being able to consistently donate is almost more important than the initial donation, because blood does have an expiration date. So if you don't do it, regularly, then a donation that you did do might have expired, and someone might need that.
Well, the event heats back up tomorrow from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Reaction from world leaders continues days after President Donald Trump returns to the White House. How his presence is felt around the globe. Plus, the House passes a bill named after a college student murdered on her morning jog by an undocumented migrant.
Nominate your favorite business today at koamnewsnow.com/finest.
Go further in a hybrid at...
You're watching The Four States most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. President Trump puts Vladimir Putin on notice in a social media post threatening tariffs and sanctions on Russian goods if a deal to end the Ukraine war does not come soon. It's the latest example of how the new president is making his presence felt around the world. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
The war in Ukraine would have never happened if I were president.
And now President Trump is using his power as negotiator-in-chief to bring Russia to the table. Posting on Truth Social, "If we don't make a deal in soon, I have no other choice but to put high levels of taxes, tariffs, and sanctions on anything being sold by Russia to the United States. We can do it the easy way or the hard way."
When will you meet with President Putin? Anytime they want, I'll meet.
But I think we should be happy that we have a president and President Trump that wants to be a promoter of peace and to end conflicts where possible.
The future of U.S. aid and weapons shipments to Ukraine also hangs in the balance. But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is remaining optimistic, sharing this message on social media.
I wish President Trump and all of America success. Ukrainians are ready to work together with Americans to achieve peace, true peace. This is an opportunity that must be seized.
Russia is not the only country facing tariff threats from Trump. The president also plans to put duties on Canadian and Mexican goods beginning February 1st. As pressure to stem the flow of illegal migrants and fentanyl into the U.S. But Democrats are worried about unintended consequences.
If the president does tariffs on all goods coming in, he's going to increase costs for Americans.
It's not clear exactly what deal President Trump wants Russia to make, but President Zelensky has appeared more open to negotiations in recent weeks. In Washington.
Well, reaction from world leaders continues to pour in days after President Donald Trump returned to the White House. In Davos, Switzerland, leaders from around the world are gathered at the annual World Economic Forum, many grappling with the global impact of Trump's second term. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres issued a warning days after Trump's flurry of executive orders, including announcing the U.S. is pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. In Paris, France, the German Chancellor spoke alongside French President Emmanuel Macron, reiterating Europeans must take on greater responsibility for their security and defense while committing to further strengthening transatlantic ties. And like Russia, China is also bracing for potential tariffs, stressing it plans to defend China's national interests. As for NATO, President Trump is once again calling on member states to raise their defense budgets. Well, the House passes a bill named after a college student murdered on her morning jog by an undocumented migrant. It's a sign cracking down on illegal immigration is a top priority for Congress and President Trump. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
The Laken Riley Act making its way through Congress. Named for a nursing student killed by an illegal immigrant on the University of Georgia's campus last February. Jose Ibarra was found guilty of felony murder in November. In the year before killing Riley, he had been arrested in New York and received a citation in Georgia, but was not behind bars. This new measure requires immigration officials to arrest and detain illegal immigrants who are charged with crimes until they're deported.
This bill assures that what happened to Laken Riley cannot happen again should another Joe Biden disgrace the presidency.
The House first passed a separate version of the bill during the last session of Congress, but the Senate didn't pass its own bill until Monday.
They had no desire to stand up for women who were assaulted by people here illegally.
But some Democrats worry the measure goes too far.
It shifts from conviction as a standard to a mere arrest, even if there are no charges brought, or mere charges even if the charges are dropped. So I'm sticking with due process.
Many Democrats say they're open to passing a comprehensive border bill, a top priority for President Trump.
Democrats are ready and willing to work with our Republican colleagues to fix a broken immigration system, including investments with border security.
The Laken Riley Act would also allow states to take civil action against federal workers who don't enforce immigration laws. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, an AI push.
President Trump makes a big push to keep AI development in American hands. I'm Griff Jenkins in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Well, of course, it's still cold outside today, but warmer than what we have seen all week long, which is nice to see. And if we look outside right now, it looks pretty good. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course. We are looking downtown Joplin. Look at these temperature changes, anywhere from about 8 to 15, 16 degrees warmer right now compared to what we were this time last night, which is great to see. There's been a few little snow flurries that have kind of rotated around, but we are looking pretty good. I'm not worried about that as we go through the overnight hours. Temperatures sitting kind of mid to upper 20s to near 30 degrees. We'll drop back into the lower 20s later on tonight, but the winds are going to pick up again tomorrow out of the northwest, ushering in just a little bit cooler air, maybe 3 or 4 degrees cooler, but still going to be breezy on your Thursday. Now, it gets even windier on Friday. Switch around now, the south increase 30, 35 miles per hour, but that helps us warm into the 40s for highs, which is going to be nice to see. Few little clouds kind of skirting through, those little random flurries that we have mainly been seeing across central Missouri. So there's one wave rotating through the Great Lakes, secondary wave that will give us some clouds, which is dropping into the western high plains right now. Jet stream still follow the arrows out of Canada, but the coldest of the air starting to retreat off toward the north and to the east. That's also pretty good news. All right, let me walk you through time. By morning, lower 20s, some clouds, maybe a few random flurries. Through the morning, we warm to about freezing by the noon hour. Once we get into the afternoon, I think most of us 33 or 34 degrees. Now, with that weak little front that's dropping through right now, which is why we're a smidge cooler tomorrow, it gets cold tomorrow night. 14, 15 for a low, but with those stronger southerly winds, we go into the mid 40s by the time Friday rolls around. Day planner on Thursday, 23 in the morning, 32 by noon, high temp 34 degrees. Let's go into your weekend. A lot of clouds on Saturday, but still upper 40s. We're going to watch for a few showers, mainly in our southern counties, once we get into Saturday night into Sunday morning. Still temperatures pretty good, even Sunday afternoon into lower 40s, but a lot of clouds through the weekend. But look at this, Monday, sunshine, upper 40s. Tuesday looks good. We are going to be tracking a weaker system that's going to try to get in late next week. So we are going to see some chances for rain late Wednesday, Thursday into Friday. Until then, not a whole bunch going on. If you're going north, Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Arrowhead, tailgating, not bad, in the 30s. Cold for the game, upper 20s, but it looks like it should be mainly dry, which is good news. 34 tomorrow, 44 on Friday, 47 Saturday, 42 on Sunday, but then bouncing to 60 by the middle of next week, which sounds pretty good.
At least our water lines will have a little break and not have to worry about dripping your faucets. And
it's going to be nice.
Yes, it's been a scary few days.
Yeah, it's been cold.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, a local bookstore is helping a Joplin VFW post raise money to repair a water line. The owner of Always Buying Books, Bob Wolf, is a longtime member of the VFW Post 534. It's had a water leak for about 2 months and now costing hundreds. The break has been located, but funding is needed to fix it. Wolf is asking for help in raising $1,000 for the VFW.
Has the money, but it takes away from other things we do, like feeding and clothing other veterans. So I decided on my own, the store here has made a donation and challenged other people to help to raise $1,000.
The VFW helps veterans who contact them daily, and Wolf says the cost of these repairs would take away from the help the Post gives. Well, coming up in sports, a Fairland High School senior signs to play softball at Crowder College. Plus, Liberal girls basketball faces Galena in the semifinals of the Tony Dubray tournament. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Fairland High School softball had an especially strong senior class leading the way this past fall as the Lady Owls earned a second consecutive trip to the state tournament. Well, this afternoon, another one of those standouts signs to play in college. Fairland High School senior Lakin McCoy signs with Crowder College softball this afternoon. McCoy transferred to Fairland for her senior year, and in her one season with the Lady Owls, she earned All-Region, All-District, and First-Team All-Conference honors. McCoy will be joining her Fairland teammate, Jocelyn Wyrick, at Crowder.
Well, I think it definitely helped with my friends going, and so that played a big part. I didn't want to go too far with a bunch of people I didn't know where I wasn't going to be comfortable, so I think choosing Crowder was easy for that. And coming here, moving my senior year, was going to be a hard move, especially it's a rival school, but all the girls welcomed me with open arms and were so willing to just let me be in their circle. It was just so nice.
High school basketball tournament week continues here in the 4 states. Tomorrow, things get tipped off at Frontenac, NEO, and Pittsburgh, and they run through the weekend. Over in Liberal, the Tony DeBray tournament is already in the semifinals. The hosts of the Tony DeBray tournament, the Liberal Bulldogs, face the Galena Bulldogs tonight. We start in the first quarter. Long pass across the court to Taylor Swarns. She steps back and drains the long three-pointer. A few minutes later, Galena gets on the board. Weslyn Russell posts up and scores 2 points. Galena makes it a 1-point game. We go ahead to the second quarter. Morgan Strong just misses that three-pointer, but Mackenzie New is in the right place for the rebound and puts it back in for 2. Liberal, though, starts to take control in the second half. Here's Swarns knocking down the jump shot from the baseline. It's a milestone night for her. She scored her 1,500th career point in this one. Still in the second half, Swarns finds Ellie Barton, who connects on a 2-point jumper. Then, off the inbounds play, here's Swarns there for another easy bucket. She leads all scorers with 19 points tonight, and Liberal goes on to beat Galena 38-25. Well, tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder try to continue their dominance at home. OKC is 19-2 at Paycom Center so far this season and has won 8 consecutive home games entering this evening's matchup against the last-placed Utah Jazz. So no surprise here, the Thunder win yet again, this time 123-114 over Utah. It's 9 victories in a row on their home floor. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has another MVP caliber performance. Maybe he's best of the year. He scores a career-high 54 points to lead the way for OKC, and it's just the 6th time this season that anybody in the NBA has scored more than 50 points in a game. Well, we're just 4 days away from the AFC Championship between the Chiefs and Bills. Every player on Kansas City's roster is a full participant at practice today, and Patrick Mahomes says the Chiefs are ready for yet another playoff game against Buffalo.
Yeah, I think when you look at the great rivalries of the NFL, it comes with this. It comes with playing at each other every year in the regular season. It comes with playing in the playoffs, and you have to combat. You have to look at your weaknesses and try to make those strengths, and then your strengths make them even better because you know that they're going to go out there and try to take away those things. And so it's a great football team. Like I said, great players, well coached, and we know it's going to take our best in order to find a way to get a win.
Chiefs have never lost to the Bills in the Andy Reid era in the playoffs. They're 3-0 against them. But Patrick Mahomes is right. It's turning into one of the better rivalries in the league.
All right. Thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. Tech experts say President Trump's embrace of AI could be a game changer, but there are lingering concerns over a lack of rules and regulations. Fox News national correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from Washington.
President Trump is going all in on AI. On Tuesday, he announced a new partnership between OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, who will invest a combined $500 billion in AI data centers throughout the country. The project is called Stargate, and President Trump says it's the first step towards enacting his America First tech agenda.
What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country, and we're making it available.
It came just a few hours after Trump rolled back former President Biden's executive orders on AI, which were aimed at making the technology safer for consumers and national security. And experts say we're likely to see more regulations cut as the White House tries to accelerate technological innovation.
Some would argue that we need a whole lot more rules and regulations, but it's clearly not the way that the people, including Elon Musk, who are around President Trump now see it.
President Trump's moves on AI are the hot topic this week at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland. Industry leaders are pushing back on the idea of consolidating AI development in American hands, saying they don't want this new industrial revolution controlled by the Stargate investors.
There is no way we're going to let this technology just develop, being concentrated and the value being concentrated in the hands of a few actors.
President Trump is expected to address the World Economic Forum remotely on Thursday. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Trevor Noah is announced as a Grammys award host, and the Lincoln Lawyer gets another season. Those stories and more coming up in Hollywood Nation. From this year's Grammy Awards host to a fan favorite series returning, Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has that and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
Future times, all the times, really.
A star-filled horror movie first look, a couple hit series return, and Noah is back in the Hollywood Nation. Trevor Noah will host the Grammys for a 5th consecutive year. The Recording Academy announced the news, noting Noah will lead a special Grammy telecast February 2nd. A night that will not only celebrate the year in music, but raise additional funds to support wildfire relief efforts, pay tribute to the bravery and dedication of first responders, and honor the resilient spirit of Los Angeles.
This one's personal.
In series renewals, Netflix announced a 4th season for The Lincoln Lawyer, with production set to begin in February in Los Angeles. Seasons 1 through 3 are currently streaming.
Hey guys, come on in. Thank you very much.
Class will be back in session for Abbott Elementary. The hit show received a season 5 renewal on ABC and Hulu.
What is it that you guys do?
In today's first looks, a trailer for the upcoming horror movie Opus. Written and directed by Mark Anthony Green, the film features Io Adebari, John Malkovich, Juliette Lewis, and Murray Bartlett among its star-studded cast. The story follows a young writer invited to the remote compound of a legendary pop star who mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago, where she finds herself in the middle of his twisted plan. It's in theaters March 14th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of otters playing basketball at the Oregon Zoo. And this is so cute. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.